The dangers from lithium-ion battery fires are genuine, and although they are actually more rare than petrol or diesel vehicle fires, it's the intensity and ferocity of the fires that make them so challenging. That and the toxic gases that are released. And although I've rarely seen it done, the massive amounts of contaminated water runoff from extinguishing the fire should be treated before released back into the environment. However, if a fire is not an EV or lithium battery fire, I'm quite prepared to state that, as I think the merits of EVs should be judged on genuine facts. So when I saw this video of an ambulance exploding recently, I did some research into the company that was running it, and in this case it looks like an EV is not to blame. But let's take a look at the evidence. Welcome back to M-Guy, British engineer and lawyer turned Sydney YouTuber. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter X. Thanks very much if you sent me a link to this story over the last couple of days. It's certainly dramatic images as the ambulance appears to catch fire as it is dropping off a patient and then explodes violently. This video is from the Daily Mail. So it looks like the engine bay is already smoking as the ambulance draws up, and I think this is sped up. This is double speed, I think, roughly, and yeah, it seems to be coming clearly from the engine bay. So my thoughts are that it is probably an engine fire or electrical fire of some kind, and it gets out of hand very quickly. I would have thought they should have moved that patient a little bit further away from the ambulance before they left her alone. 6 minutes later, it's pretty well alight now. To me, this just looks like a regular fire. There doesn't look like any of the normal telltale signs of an EV fire. It's just a very intense fire that's got hold of that vehicle. Whoa, okay. Whoa, okay, now that explosion, yeah. Look, that looks like a gas cylinder. And we'll take a look at this in more detail in a minute. But yeah, that's my initial view. It's not an EV, it's just a regular fire. And those are compressed gas cylinders exploding due to the heat. So I had a look at the ERS Medical website. They provide non-emergency patient transport, i.e. moving people to and from routine appointments rather than responding to emergencies. And of course, they have to comply with piles of environmental and sustainability legislation, as every organisation has to these days. So here's an extract from their sustainability plan. Environmental sustainability. ERS Medical is at the start of our net zero journey. Despite this, historically, we have consistently acknowledged and maintained a commitment to greener operations, given that we operate a large patient transport and medical courier network across the country. We are committed to integrating social and environmental priorities into our business operations. With national operations and a fleet of just under 500 vehicles, we aim to minimise environmental impact where possible, and we have various initiatives in place to support our aims of significantly reducing carbon emissions in line with the NHS's net zero roadmap to reach net zero by 2040 for the emissions that we can control, publishing a carbon reduction plan for our direct emissions, following the NHS non-emergency patient transport decarbonisation timeline, applying our social value blueprint to regional operation areas, and directly contributing to biodiversity and ecological initiatives. And in the obligatory carbon reduction plan, we see the following. Fully electric fleet for non-emergency patient transport. In 2021, in line with the target that we set ourselves, we launched a commercially viable electric ambulance in one of our key contracts. Deployed for the use of Homerton University Hospital and its community services, the zero-emissions patient transport vehicle paves the way for our cleaner and greener transport vision. With a range of 219 or 185 miles city combined, it saves over 12,943 kilograms of CO2 emissions per year when compared to a diesel vehicle equivalent driving 30,000 miles per annum. This saving of CO2 per annum is equivalent to 1,271 gallons of diesel consumed or 14,321 pounds of coal burned. Following on from the successful launch of the first electric ambulance, ERS Medical will be launching a fully electric, non-emergency patient transport fleet for Homerton University Hospital by October 2024. This target will be met by steadily rolling out electric ambulances in 2022 and 2023, which will reduce the existing fuel-run fleet. Homerton Healthcare Foundation Trust will be the first trust in the UK with a fully electric fleet for its non-emergency patient transport service. But the bottom line is that it does not appear that any other areas other than Homerton Hospital are being replaced with electric ambulances at this time. And the other obvious factor is that the electric ambulances are festooned with signs proudly announcing its electric status, whereas that in the current incident is very plain and does not have such markings. I'm pretty confident this was not an EV and was just a very unfortunate incident. Ambulances obviously carry cylinders of highly pressurized gases, and when these are heated by the fire, the pressure will eventually overcome the fracture strength of the cylinder itself. Non-emergency patient transport might, just might, be one of the rare occasions where an electric fleet operating in a limited range may be viable, but it should certainly not be considered for emergency use.